Good morning. Good morning, and welcome to Full Disclosure. And this is a talk for um, homeowners and potential home buyers. Today, um, we're going to start with something that's going to sting a little bit. Unfortunately, in this business, most people, buyers and sellers, and even some real estate agents, most people don't take the paperwork seriously enough until it is way too late. They sign the documents shoved in front of them without reading any of them. As the agent is explaining, they nod without understanding. Even if they have questions, they don't ask. And then when a deal blows up, when a lawsuit gets filed, when trust breaks down, suddenly that piece of paper, it matters so much more than the house itself. So today we are not talking about granite countertops. We are not talking about updated features. We're not talking about mortgage rates or how damn cute that backyard looks. We're talking about the three documents that protect you, the buyer, the seller, and the agent from confusion, from mistrust, and more importantly, from lawsuits. These forms, they're not just forms. These are shields. So the three we're going to break down today are: number one, the agency disclosure form. This form tells you who represents you. The second form we're going to talk about is the Fair Housing Disclosure Form. This form states that nobody gets discriminated against. Buyer, seller, agent, nobody. Number three is the Property Condition Disclosure Notice. This is a notice that tells you the truth about the home. This tells you that you are entitled to the Property Condition Disclosure Notice before you make an offer. So today you'll leave here understanding these three, and you'll never look at a real estate transaction again. So part one we're going to talk about is the agency disclosure. Now, it's a boring read. It describes the different types of agency: a buyer's agent, a seller's agent, a dual agent. And it looks like every other government form. But if you don't understand it, you don't know who's in your corner. And in real estate, not knowing that, not knowing who represents you and who you can trust and who you can rely on, that will cost you big time. So let's just get clear. If you're the agent, or I mean, if you're the seller, your agent is your soldier. Their job is to protect your price. Their job is to protect your terms. Their job is to protect your confidentiality. They owe you loyalty. They owe you obedience. They owe you disclosure, and they owe you 100% full accountability. So the translation is, their job is you, not the buyer. Now, if you're the buyer, then your agent is your soldier. Their job is to negotiate hard for you, the buyer, to protect your money, the buyer's money, and to get you the terms and the price that makes sense to you. They also owe you loyalty. They owe you confidentiality. They owe you full disclosure, and they owe you 100% accountability as well. Translation, their job is you, not the seller. You know, it sounds simple, right? But Here's the problem. Here's where it gets messy. There are other forms of agency. There's what's called a broker's agent. This is someone helping, but they don't answer directly to you. They answer to your agent. Don't give them instructions, because reality is they are not going to listen to them. They have no obligation because they are not working for you. Then there is a dual agency. That's where one agent represents both the buyer and the seller. Now, I want you to picture this. Imagine you're hiring a divorce attorney who represents both you and the spouse you are divorcing. Let me ask you this. How much loyalty do you think you're actually getting? Exactly. Zero. That's why dual agency is legal only if both sides agree in writing. But make no mistake, you lose undivided loyalty. As an FYI, I do not practice dual agency. I am either a seller's agent or I am a buyer's agent. But there's also one type of agency I am. I do dual agency with designated agents. And this is what that's about. It's the same broker who has the listing, and one of their agents is the salesperson. So in that case, the agent who has the listing is designated to represent the seller, and you are designated to represent the buyer. It's better than having one person trying to serve two masters, but it's still not perfect. Here's the point. Agency is about loyalty. Agency is about trust. You need to know who is legally in your corner representing you. And if you don't ask, if you don't read the paperwork, you might think that someone's representing you when they're actually representing the other side. That's a fatal mistake. This form, the agency form, it forces the clarity that you need to know who's representing you. Part 2 is the Form 2 is the Fair Housing Act. Let me be blunt. This isn't just a form. This is the law. Housing is a human right. And the law is very clear on this. You must not, 100%, you cannot discriminate in real estate. You're breaking the law. You could face charges. You can't discriminate by race. You can't discriminate by religion. You can't discriminate by sexual orientation. Not by family status. Not by disability. Not by income source. And the list goes on and on and on. But here's where people get in trouble. There's a thing called steering, and it's illegal. That's when an agent says to you, you may feel more comfortable living in this neighborhood. Or something like, that area is not really for people like you. That's illegal. You can't say that shit. No, blockbusting. Blockbusting is also illegal. That's when somebody says, you better sell now because people of a different race or religion are moving in and values will drop. That's not only wrong, that's illegal. Again, it's illegal. There's discriminatory terms, that are illegal. Charging one person more rent or offering worse terms because of who they are, the color they are, what they believe. That's illegal. Lying about the availability. Sorry, it's already rented. When really the landlord just doesn't want to rent to somebody with kids. Illegal. So let me make this simple. Let me make this clear and as succinctly as possible. If the words "because of who you are" are anywhere in the reasoning, whether you verbalize them or think them, it's against the law. And if you're on the receiving end, you've got the right to fight back, and you should. You can file a complaint with the New York State Division of Human Rights. You can file a complaint with the Department of State. You won't be charged. You cannot legally be retaliated against this. Now, here's where it hits home for real estate professionals. Violate fair housing, and your license is on the line. Violate fair housing, and you're not just risking a lawsuit, you are risking your career. So the takeaway from this, fair housing is a non-negotiable. Fair housing is all about equality. Fair housing is about human dignity, and it's about protecting yourself from catastrophic consequences. The third form we're going to discuss real quickly is the property condition disclosure. So let's talk about it. It's called the Property Condition Disclosure Notice. You sign this as a buyer, acknowledging that you have a right to the property condition disclosure before you make an offer. It's your right under New York State law to receive this from the sellers, the statement about the property's condition as they know it. Why does this matter? Because the sellers, they don't always tell you the truth. You know, sometimes it's purposeful, sometimes it's by accident. But this form forces it into the open. It brings to light to the seller when they're filling it out the things they do need to disclose. So here's what you need to know. Sellers, you must provide a signed disclosure before you sign a binding contract. If you later discover new information, sellers, you must provide a revised property condition disclosure as long as it's before closing or occupancy. After closing, after you move in, it's too late. So now don't miss this. This form does not replace any home inspection. It does not replace any due diligence as a buyer you should be doing, but it gives the buyers an early look into what the sellers know about the home. Maybe there's some leaks. Maybe there's some foundation issues. Maybe it's been flooded before. Maybe there's some mechanical system issues. And it protects the sellers too. Because once you disclose, once you tell them, hey, there's a leak in the bathroom, you're less likely to be sued later for hiding that leak in the bathroom because you didn't hide it. So the key here is honesty, upfront and fully. This form is about truth. So buyers need to make an informed decision. Sellers needed to cover their bases legally. So let's put all of this together. Your three forms, your three shields, agency disclosure, know who is really in your corner. Fair housing disclosure, no discrimination, no excuses. And the property condition disclosure is the truth about the property before you commit. Most people, unfortunately, they either don't read these forms, they skim them, they sign them blindly, and then they move on. Don't do this. Read the form. Make sure you understand every single one of them. These are the foundations of trust. These are the foundations of equality, and these are the foundations of honesty in real estate. So when you understand them, you're not just buying or selling a home, you're protecting yourself. You're protecting your family and you're protecting your future. So the next time someone just slides a form across the table, don't just sign it. Understand it. Read it. Ask questions. Protect yourself. That's how you win in real estate. Peace. We'll see you next Wednesday, 8:30. And remember, if you have any questions whatsoever, I am here for you. You can reach out to me. You can call me on my cell phone. My number is 845-439-2053. And I appreciate you. Again, peace.